Yeah, so we have completed three demos, right? We have completed three demos: DevOps, introduction, automation, what is automation, why the project teams are looking for automation tools, right? So, what is cost saving, what is our role in automation, right? After that, we discussed about question and answers, technical questions, general questions, right? Yeah, after that, yesterday we discussed about cloud introduction. What is cloud? What are the advantages of cloud? What are the differences between on-premises and cloud infrastructure? What is cost saving? What is time saving? Right? So these are all we discussed, right? Yeah. Today we are going to discuss about SDLC, software development lifecycle, right? Yeah. So before going to this, anyone newly joined today? Can you share your WhatsApp number and email address in the chat? So anyone newly joined today, so that yeah, if you share your WhatsApp number and email address, we'll provide you all the previous demo recordings. Three demos completed, right? Three introductions completed. So from today, so this is very informative. So don't miss. If you're interested, yeah, today onwards, yeah, we are going to work on. We are going to discuss about a real-time project process and in real time what we will do, right? And what is the flow. And Monday onwards, Monday Tuesday we'll work on basics: servers, networks, storages, load balancers, failovers, IP addresses, right? After that, slowly we'll enter into cloud platform. Fine. Anyone newly joined today, can you share your WhatsApp number and email address in the chat, so that we'll provide you recordings. Okay. Yeah. What is SDLC? Anyone? Fine. So in real-time projects, as a DevOps engineer, what is our role? What we will do, right? So when we join into the project, when we join into the project, so what are the roles assigned to the DevOps engineer, right? So what we have to perform, and what are the artifacts? What is artifact? What are the artifacts will be generated, right? That artifacts, how can we deploy onto production environment or test environment or UAT environment, right? And also, how can we integrate, right? So what are the tools we used, right? So these are all very important before going to work on DevOps tools, right? And cloud services. First, we need to understand this process, right? Yeah, in real-time projects, developer develop the code in their local Git. Developers develop the code in their local Git. Okay. Yeah. So developers, they prepare the applications, they prepare the code, right? Yeah. So they start working on their local workspace first. Okay. The local workspace. What is workspace? What is workspace? Workspace is nothing but where we start our work, where we store our source code. Is nothing but workspace. It's just like folder, right? Workspace is nothing but a normal folder, right? Yeah. So they start. Yeah, they create one folder. They initialize as a local repository, right? So that local repository they convert into local Git, local Git. Okay. So this is a local Git. Local Git. So two developers are working on their local Git. So developer A and developer B, both are working on their local Git, local systems. Okay, local laptop or desktop. So in that they configured local Git. Okay, yeah. So basically, what is Git? What is Git? What is the use of Git? right? Yeah. So Git is a repository tool or version control tool. Yeah. On first day we discussed what is Git, right? On first demo we discussed, right? Yeah. So this is Git local. Developers, they always work on local Git, right? So they develop the code, they modify the code, they test the code, they push the code, they pull the code, right? Whatever they want to, they perform the activities on local Git. Okay, this is completely developer tool. Git is a completely developer tool. So what is Git? Git is a repository tool or version control tool. It is a repository tool or version control tool. So what is repository? What is repository? Where we store our data, where we store our source code is nothing but repository. It can be any data. It can be binary files, image files, video files, audio files, PDF files, whatever files, right? Where we store our data is nothing but repository, right? And next one is version control. What is version control? So yeah, version control is nothing but it will track the changes. It will track the changes, right? Yeah. So here we have some parameters. When we talk about version control, there are some parameters. Parameters, right? Who did changes? When did changes? And what purpose did changes? Based on these comments, Git will track the version, right? Yeah. So who did changes? For example, Ram did changes. When did changes? By 7 a.m. IST, yeah, on 9th September 23 at 7 a.m. IST did some changes, right? So what purpose did changes? What purpose did changes? Okay, due to some production issue, prod issue, did some changes. Yeah, so Git will allow you to add these comments. Git will allow you to add these comments. Who did changes? When did changes? What purpose they did changes? So based on these comments, Git will track the version. For example, in your project, 10 people are working on. 10 people are working in different sprints. So in Agile methodology, in Agile, we'll call it as what is Agile? Anyone having idea? What is Agile? So before Agile, we used to use a waterfall, right? Waterfall. Exactly, right. So waterfall is a sequential development. Agile is a parallel development. Currently, we are not using waterfall. Yeah, every project team we are using parallel development. Agile is nothing but parallel development. In Agile, what we will do? We create a sprints. Sprint one, sprint two, sprint three, like this. A number of sprints we can create, right? Yeah. So what is sprint? Anyone? What is sprint? Anyone having idea? Real time guess. What is sprint? Sprint is nothing but it's a timeline. Timeline. So sprint can be 1 week to 1 month. The sprint can be 1 week to 1 month. So as per the requirement, so the sprint can be designed, right? Sprint will be designed as per the requirement, 1 week to 1 month. So for example, one sprint started today, by next Thursday, EOD, the sprint should be completed. If the sprint start today, monthly sprint, by 8th September, by 7th October, that should be completed, right? So the sprint can be completed within a week or within a month as per the requirement, right? So earlier, before Agile, we used to use waterfall. So in waterfall, sequentially we used to develop the applications. We means developers, not DevOps engineers will not develop any applications, right? So in waterfall methodology, sequentially the coding, the application, right? The integrations we used to follow sequentially. But so by the time, if any small plugin, if the project team want to develop that, they used to take nearly 3 months, 6 months, like that, right? So more people working on that activities and more, so they used to spend more time to perform the activities. That is old fashioned, right? So currently we are using Agile. Agile is a parallel development. So parallelly developer develop the applications. For example, one application development is happening in the project. That application will be divided into bits and pieces. The application will be divided into bits and pieces, which is nothing but sprint. The piece is nothing but sprint. So different team members, we can delegate to the sprints. They start working on the sprints, right? So as per the timeline, they complete the sprint and they deliver the application, right? So we can deploy onto production. Fine. So this is Agile is a parallel development. So sprint is a timeline, right? Sprint can be 1 week to 1 month. Fine. Yeah. So developer develop the code in their local Git. Git is a repository tool or version control tool. So repository is nothing but where we store our data. What is the source code? Where we store our source code? And a version control system is nothing but, so it will track the changes. Who did what? It will track the changes. Fine. Yeah. So once you develop the code in their local gate, once development is completed, once code merging completed, once the pulling pushing completed, once they modify the code, they push the code to remote repository. So this is a remote repository. Remote repository, or we can say GitHub. GitHub. Right? So GitHub is a remote server. GitHub is a remote server. So Git and GitHub functionality wise both are same. Git and GitHub functionality wise both are same. Git is a local repository. GitHub is a remote server. Why we need to push this code to remote server? Why we need to push this code to remote server, right? So because whatever code developed by developers, that code is available in the local. From local, we cannot take properly, we cannot deploy into production, because so here local workspace, this is a local workspace, right? So different team members are working on their local workspace. So once development is completed, what they will do, they push the code to GitHub. The code will be merged here. The code will be merged here, right? Yeah. So for example, one developer is working on front end, front end, front end UI, right? So other developer is working on back end, and third developer is working on database, right? So these are different sprints, for example. That should be integrated somewhere, right, to prepare the application. That is why, so in local they develop the code, they push the code to remote repository, remote server here, right? Once the code is moved to remote repository, right? So this is the code. This code should be deployed onto application servers. Once this is deployed onto application servers, so we can access the application from internet. Okay, finally. So if you want to deploy this code on application servers, we required one tool, which is a very important tool, which is Jenkins. Jenkins. So Jenkins is a CI/CD tool. Jenkins is a CI/CD tool. Continuous integration, continuous delivery, right? Yeah. So in DevOps, we have multiple tools are there, different tools are there. All the tools are individual tools. One tool will not communicate other tool. So in DevOps, we have multiple tools are there. All the tools are individual tools. One tool will not communicate other tool. All the tools are individual tools. So here Jenkins is a mediator tool. Jenkins is a mediator tool. It will integrate all the tools. It will communicate all the tools by installing plugins. So for example, my code is available in GitHub. This code I want to pull from GitHub to Jenkins, right? So why we need to pull this code from GitHub to Jenkins? Finally, the code should be deployed onto application servers. That is why we need to pull this code from GitHub to Jenkins. So if you want to pull this code from GitHub to Jenkins, very first thing we need to install one GitHub plugin in Jenkins. So we need to install one GitHub plugin in Jenkins. So once install the plugin, after that Jenkins will be, yeah. So once install the plugin, GitHub will be integrated with the Jenkins. Yeah. So Jenkins, what it will do? So it will start communicating GitHub. Once we install plugin, Jenkins will start communicating GitHub. Fine. Yeah. So once we install plugin, once we integrate, after that we create a job here. We create a job, right? So if you want to pull this code from GitHub to Jenkins, we don't pull the code manually. We create a job. We can schedule the job. We create a job and we schedule the job. So once the job is triggered, once the job is triggered, once the job is built, so this code will be pulled from GitHub to Jenkins. This code will be pulled from GitHub to Jenkins. So whatever code we pulled, so this code is, we can say this code is a raw code. Raw code. Raw code means unstructured code, unformatted code. So this raw code we cannot directly deploy onto production or application servers. So finally the code should be deployed onto application servers. So here there is a application server, or we can say Tomcat server, application server or Tomcat server. So finally, whatever code we pulled from GitHub to Jenkins, the code should be deployed onto application server or Tomcat. So many application servers are there here. Okay. So Tomcat servers, WebLogic servers, and WebSphere. So like this, so many, yeah, application servers are there, web servers are there. So the code finally, the code should be deployed onto this application server or web servers. Okay. Yeah. So this code is raw code, right? Raw code will not understand by application servers. Raw code will not understand by application servers, right? So that is why what we will do, this raw code we cannot directly deploy onto application server. That is why we can integrate, we will integrate one more tool, which is Maven. What is Maven? What Maven will do? So Maven is a build tool. Maven is a build tool. So yeah, Maven is a build tool which will generate artifacts. Maven is a build tool which will generate artifacts, right? So what is artifact? What is artifact? Artifact is nothing but archive files. Artifact is nothing but archive file. Maven is a build tool which will generate artifact. Artifact is nothing but archive files, right? Yeah. So what is archive file? So whatever raw code pulled by Jenkins from GitHub, that raw code will be given to the Maven. Maven will generate one archive file, one artifact as a single file, right? So binary file, zip file, tar file, war file, jar file, whatever file. So based on the application, right? Yeah, this artifact is, yeah, this raw code will be converted into single artifact, single archive file, because this application servers understand only artifacts. right? It will understand. It will not understand raw code. This raw code we cannot deploy onto application servers. That is why we required artifacts here. It will understand artifact. Okay. So, for example, Java development is going on here. In the development environment, Java development going on. Java development. So in Java development, three types of development will be there. Three types of development will be there. Developers, they are developing the code in Java, right? So in Java, we have three types of developments will be there, right? What are those? Anyone having idea? So here, desktop applications, desktop app development, and web application, web application development, and enterprise application development, like this, right? So different types of development will be happened in the development environment. So desktop application is nothing but, so for example, I have a calculator here, calculator, right? So this is a desktop application. This is desktop application, right? So this will work in my local system, right? So this is a desktop application. This will work in my local system, right? So this calculator you cannot access. My calculator, it will not be accessible to you. Your calculator I cannot access, right? So because this is a desktop application, this will work in my system, right? So desktop applications, what will happen here, this will generate, Maven will generate war file, sorry, jar file. Desktop application will generate jar file. Jar means Java archive file. So web applications, it will generate, for example, web application. So desktop application means only local system it will work, right? Web application means we can deploy onto server. This applications we can deploy onto server. We can access through internet. So for this, it will generate WAR file, web archive file. Yeah. So next one is enterprise application. So this is enterprise level we use, enterprise level. For this, it will generate, for this it will generate EAR file, EAR, enterprise archive file. Right? So based on the application, it will generate artifacts. Maven will generate artifact as a single file. So for example, in your laptop or a desktop, you have documents are there. You have so many documents are there. So I asked you to send those documents to me, right? So how can you send those documents to me? How can you send those documents to me? What is the simplest way? You have 100 documents are there, PDF documents. I asked you to send those documents to me. So what is the simplest way to send those documents to me? How can you send? Anyone? Yeah. So the documents, instead of attaching all the documents to the email, what you will do, you can convert into one zip file and attach to the email and send it across, right? Yeah, same way, same functionality will work in Maven also. Maven is a build tool which will generate artifact. Artifact is nothing but, so jar file, war file, ER file. So based on the application, desktop application will generate jar file. So web application it will generate war file. So enterprise application it will generate ER file. So based on the application it will generate artifact. That artifact will be given back to the Jenkins. Jenkins will push that artifact to application servers. Here we deploy the code, right? Clear, right? So Maven will generate WAR file, for example, web application. This web application WAR file will be given back to Jenkins. Jenkins will push that WAR file to application server. Here we deploy the WAR file. This will be happened in live applications. This will be happening in live applications. For example, let us take Flipkart. Let us take Flipkart. This is the this is the live application, digital application, right? So every moment some changes will be happened in the Flipkart. Every moment. So for example, if you go to this, yeah, see here. So these are the microservices. We can say these are all microservices. These are all microservices, right? Yeah. So here, every moment this pricing will be changed. Yeah, this product will be changed. Sometimes, yeah, they show you here out of stock, right? So hot deal, right? Free delivery. So only five left. This type of comments they update. So who will perform this activity? Back-end application team. Back-end application team, development team. They modify the offers, they modify the pricing, they modify the products, they modify the, yeah, so this free delivery and all extra comments they put sometimes. So they modify in their local git, their local git they modify, their local git they modify. Once they modify, the application will be the, yeah, whatever they modify, that will be pushed to the GitHub. Once the code is pushed to GitHub, that will be, that will be deployed, that will be, yeah, whatever code they push to GitHub, that will be taken by Jenkins. So whatever code we take from the GitHub, which is a raw code means unstructured code. So this raw code will not understand by application servers. That is why by using maven we can convert into one single file, war file, that will be pushed to the application server. Here we deploy the war file or jar file or er file. So this is the actual process in real-time projects. This will be happened. Every project team they are following this process. This process we can say build and release process. Build and release process. Right? Yeah. So or else CI/CD process. Build and release process or CI/CD process. Fine. Yeah. So in this process, where the testing will be happened, where the testing will be happened, testing also should be happened, right? So without testing, yeah, how the application will be deployed? Without testing, how the application will be deployed, right? Yeah. So testing will be happened in Maven level here. Once, yeah, once the code is pulled by Jenkins, so here testing will be happened. Some testing will be happened. Okay. So for, yeah, to test this application, we use Sonar code review tool. Sonar code review. So testers will work on this. Sonar code review tool. Sonar code review tool we use for testing. Okay. So whatever code pulled by Jenkins, that code should be tested here, right? Yeah. Without testing, how can we deploy? Any duplicate lines are there, errors are there. So without testing, how the code will be deployed, right? So in this Sonar code review tool, once the testers are tested, so in this Sonar code review tool, developers what they will do, testers, developers and testers what they will do. Sonar also completely developers tool. Okay, so what they will do, they create some metrics, right? So here we'll have quality gates also will be there, right? So metrics how they create, so any duplicate lines are there, errors are there, right? So more than three duplicate lines are there, duplicate lines, more than three duplicate lines, more than three errors are there, right? Sonar will not accept, it will stop that, it will revert back, right? So yeah, testing should be happened here. The error should be fixed. For example, three duplicate lines are there. So same way with the duplicate lines we deployed, what will happen? With that duplicate lines we deploy to application server, what will happen? So for example, so in this duplicate lines are there, this pricing will be show you three times, duplicate lines, this will show you three times, right? So that is not yeah, that is not good way to deploy, right? So every project team they maintain some code standards. Every carnation, every company, they maintain some code standards, right? So for which they use the code quality tools, which are nothing but Sonar. So many tools are there, but Sonar is very popular tool. Sonar is very popular tool. By using Sonar, we can test the applications. Okay, yeah. So in live application, the process will be happen like this. So non-live applications also there. Non-live applications. Okay. In non-live applications, what will happen? In non-live applications, right? Yeah. So whatever WAR files are generated by Maven, that WAR files will be saved in one of the important tool. So which is Nexus repository, Nexus repo, right? Whatever, yeah, WAR files are generating, whatever WAR files are generated here, that WAR files will be saved in Nexus repository, Nexus repo. Nexus is a repository tool. So Nexus is specially designed to save our artifacts, WAR files, right? JAR files, ER files. So we already having one repository, right? Why we need to go with the repository, another repository, Nexus here? What is the importance here? Because Git is having some thumb rules. Git is having some thumb rules. Git will not accept binary formats. Binary files will not be accepted. Git will not accept binary formats. Okay, and Git is having some thumb rules, right? So that is why we are integrating one more tool here, which is a Nexus. So whatever WAR files are generating here, those will be pushed to the Nexus repository, and we can store in the Nexus repo. Whenever we have release is nothing but releasing is nothing but deployment. So whenever we have release, by the time the SWAR files will be pushed to the application servers, we deploy the applications on Tomcat or WebLogic or WebSphere servers, right? So this is the way we can store the artifacts in Nexus repo. Whenever we have release, by the time we can move to target servers and we can deploy on target servers. Clear, right? So up to here, any questions, anyone? Up to here, any questions, anyone? So this is very, very important process, right? Yeah, every development team, every project team, they're following the same process. So what is our role? So our role starts from Jenkins. Our role starts from Jenkins, right? So Git and GitHub both are developer tools. Git and GitHub both are developer tools. Developer develop the code in their local Git. Once development is completed, they push the code to GitHub. Once the code is moved to GitHub, so our roles will be started. As a DevOps engineer, we can integrate GitHub with the Jenkins, and we can prepare the jobs, and we can schedule the jobs. As per the schedule, the job will be triggered, the code will be pulled from GitHub to Jenkins. So whatever code we pulled from GitHub to Jenkins, which is a raw code will not understand by application servers. That is why we are integrating Maven to convert into one artifact, right? Artifact is nothing but archive file, binary file. So jar file, war file, ER file, as per the applications, right? Once it is converted in live application, that war file will be pushed to application servers and deploy onto application servers. In non-live applications, the war file will be stored in the Nexus repository. So what is non-live application? So Flipkart is a live application, right? What is a non-live application? So non-live applications are so many applications are there. For example, harshatrainings.com. So this is non-live application. We don't do any live activities here. This is non-live application, right? Yeah. So non-live applications, what will happen here? The WAR files will be stored in the Nexus repo. So whenever we have release means deployment. By the time this WAR files will be pushed to the application servers and we deploy onto application servers.
Generally, raw code will not give any, will not communicate any application service.
Raw code will not be pushed to the application servers.
Application service. Then it will go to Maven.
Maven, yes.
Then after Maven, the powerful again go to Jenkins and then it will go to application server.
Yes, yes, correct. So Jenkins is a mediator tool. It will act as a mediator. It will pull the code, it will hand over to Maven, take back from Maven, deploy onto application server. Clear, right, everyone? So we have Sonar code. Sonar code is a popular tool. Sonar is a popular tool. We have so many tools are there in the market, but Sonar is a popular tool. 70% of the project teams they are using Sonar. We have so many other tools also there. In place of Sonar, we can use other tools also there. But Sonar is very popular. Jenkins is very popular. Git is very popular, right? So whatever popular tools are there, those we are yeah, we have in our course content. Okay, so popular tools only we are working on. So for example, in place of Jenkins we can use team city also. 70% of the project teams they are using Jenkins. Okay, so if you understand Jenkins you can handle any CI/CD tool, right?
So, but after this local developers are using the code,
Huh.
we'll be getting by using tickets generated, tickets format only, no? Whatever the changes we have to made on that.
Not ticket actually. So yeah, ticket form not like that actually. So raw means
Unstructured.
yeah, unstructured.
So after developers completing their task, it will be getting to us
Yes,
as a
yes,
DevOps.
correct, correct. So once they push the code to GitHub, our roles will be started. So we'll be having GitHub access.
Okay.
Okay, as a DevOps engineer, we can access GitHub, right? Fine. So this is the build and release process, right? So along with these tools, we are going to work on other tools also. What are those? We have other tools also, very core tools, very advanced tools. So which are like
Rambo, Unsa.
yeah, in our codes, Ansible. We'll work on Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, right? And Grafana, right? So these are the tools. These are the tools, right? Grafana is monitoring. Grafana is monitoring tool, right? So what is Ansible? Anyone having idea? What is Ansible? Ansible is a configuration management tool. Ansible is a configuration management tool.
Is the automation.
Yes, automation tool. Configuration management or automation tool. Automation tool or configuration management tool. So what is Docker? Anyone having an idea? What is Docker? So Docker is a container tool. What is container? Anyone having idea? What is container? Container is just like a box. We can move anywhere, we can use anywhere. So it is a advanced virtual servers. Container is a advanced virtual servers, right? So by using Ansible, whatever manual activities we are performing, those we can do in automated way. Any activity, code pulling, code pushing, code merging, right? Code deployments. So here Jenkins is deploying, right? So Ansible is advanced tool. So you can integrate Ansible with Jenkins. We can integrate Ansible with Jenkins. So Jenkins will trigger the job to Ansible. Ansible will go and deploy the code on application servers. That is advanced tool. Ansible is advanced tool, right? Yeah. So Docker is a advanced virtual servers. So normally we deploy the code on application server, right? So in place of application server, we can deploy onto Docker containers. Docker containers. So Docker containers are very advanced, right? Very lightweight, very faster. Docker containers are advanced, lightweight, and very faster, right? So yeah, when we book any product in online shopping, right, the product is delivering very faster. right?
So Docker will be generated.
Sorry.
Docker will be generated to Docker.
No, 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 no. Artifacts. Artifacts only. In place of application servers, we use the Docker containers. That is advanced level. So currently, project teams are migrating to Docker containers, because Docker containers are very lightweight, very cost effective also. Licensing cost is very less, very faster. Okay, so currently we are using online shopping, right? So when we book any product, so the product will be delivered within, even groceries within 10 minutes, 5 minutes we are getting, right? So Blinkit, and so many tools are there, so many digital applications are there, right? So Blinkit, Jepto, Danjo, right? So when we book any groceries within 10 minutes, within 5 minutes, they're delivering. So because backend they are using very powerful, yeah, tools they are using, so which are like Docker containers, very faster. So when we book any mobiles, sometimes they are delivering within 4 hours also, mobiles, right? Yeah. So recently I booked one mobile, OnePlus mobile, latest one. So they delivered within 4 hours,
So Docker is nothing but which can be moved easily,
very faster,
very fast.
advanced to virtual servers, advanced to virtual servers, right? Yeah. Fine. So Docker is a container tool. Container is nothing but it's a lightweight standalone, right? So it's like a box. We can move anywhere. We can use anywhere, right? So next one is Kubernetes. What is Kubernetes? Anyone? Kubernetes is a orchestration tool. Orchestration tool. What is orchestration? Orchestration is a daemon. So, for example, what is orchestra? Anyone having idea? Orchestra. Orchestra is nothing but a group of instruments. Together they play, right? Yeah. So in between, yeah, that instruments, one person will stand and move the hands. Is orchestration. Will control all the instruments. You will direct all the instruments, right? Yeah. So Kubernetes is a orchestration tool. It will manage all the node servers, target servers, right? Yeah. So next one, Terraform. What is Terraform? Terraform is a infrastructure automation tool. Infrastructure automation tool. Terraform is a infrastructure automation tool, right? So what is infrastructure automation tool? It will automate the infrastructure. Terraform will automate infrastructure, right? So whatever servers, whatever storage, whatever network, whatever whatever configurations required, by using Terraform, we can automate within a minute. Within a minute, we can automate the activities. We can perform the activities, right? For example, one of the project team required 100 servers with all packages, all configurations, and whatever they required, right? Applications also. So by using Terraform, we can create a we can create in a minute. So Terraform is mainly for reusability. Terraform is mainly for reusability. So even AWS, in AWS also we can create, but in AWS we cannot reuse a number of times. But here Terraform, when we create using Terraform, the reusability. For example, reusability means so we created 100 servers and hand over to development team. The project is completed. The same servers we can move to other project also. We can upgrade. So other project required higher configuration, like higher RAM, higher CPU, higher processing. That we can upgrade using Terraform immediately, right? So next one is Grafana. This is monitoring, right? Yeah. So these are the important tools in our course we are going to discuss, right? Along with this shell scripting, shell scripting. Yeah. So Linux will be covered. Linux will be covered. right? Shell scripting will be covered. Linux and shell scripting will be covered here, right? So Linux, whatever we required in Linux, whatever we required, like basic commands, advanced commands, deployment commands, and the user management, and the folder structure, Linux folder structure, and services, stop start services, right? And find the how to find the files, folders, users, and also file permissions, right? Filter commands, and also editors. These are all concepts. Nearly 4 to 5 days. Linux will be covered. Shell scripting. Why we require shell scripting here? What is shell? What is shell scripting? Shell scripting is nothing but a group of commands, right? So to perform the real world activities, to perform the to troubleshoot the real world issues, to perform the activities, right? So we can use the shell scripting. So very simple way we have shell scripting. So this is also very important. Shell scripting also very important. Yeah. So Linux and shell scripting both will be covered. Shell scripting also will take nearly 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. Okay. Yeah. So after that, so we have 4 live projects also will be covered. 4 live projects. 4 live projects. What are those 4 live projects? First one is CI/CD project. CI/CD project. Second one is, yeah. First one is CI/CD and a Docker project, and the third one is Kubernetes project, and fourth one is migration. These are very important projects, right? So migration. So CI/CD means in live, in live, how the developer will develop the code, how the code will be moved to GitHub, how Jenkins will take the code, how it will be deployed to application servers. Once it is deployed, how can we test? How can we access through internet? That will be covered in live, right? In live, you can see that. So once we deploy the application in production or any application server, we can access through internet. How can we access? That will be, yeah, that will be covered. That will be configured in live, right? Yeah. So next to Docker. So whatever applications we are deploying on application servers, those applications we can deploy on Docker containers. Once we deploy onto Docker containers, how can we access the internet? That will be covered, right? So Kubernetes. So in Kubernetes we have pod concept, pods. So the same application, how can we deploy onto Kubernetes? That we will see in live. So next, migration project, migration. So how can we migrate servers from one zone to other zone, one region to other region? How can we migrate the data from on-premises to cloud, and AWS to Azure, Azure to Google Cloud? How can we migrate the data? This is very important. So entry question also. Most of the project teams, they are migrating the data. Interviewer also asks this question. So do you know migration? How can you migrate the servers? How can you migrate the data from one zone to other zone, one region to other region, one platform to other platform? Right? So these are all very important projects. Okay, Linux shell scripting also very important, and these tools are very core tools, advanced tools, right? So we are going to learn this many tools, but we don't use all the tools in real time projects. Very few tools we use, 2 or 3 tools only in real time projects we use. We don't use all the tools, right? Yeah, if you learn all these tools, you can easily crack your interview. If you learn all the tools, you can easily crack your interview. You can fit for any project, right? So in the interview, they may ask Kubernetes, Jenkins for one interview, right? So other interview they ask Ansible, Docker, right? Other interview they ask Terraform, right? Like that. So all the projects, yeah, all the projects they don't use all the tools, right? So project to project requirement as per the requirement. Fine. If you learn these tools, you can easily crack any interview. Fine. Clear, right? Any questions up to here, anyone?
So, it's usually definition of migration.
Migration, right? So migration is nothing but simply you can say migrate the data from one region to other region, or one zone to other zone, or one cloud platform to other cloud platform, or else on-premises to cloud. On-premises means local data center. On-premises to cloud also you can migrate the data, right? That we will see in live. So migration is nothing but data will be migrated from one zone to other zone, one platform to other platform. Clear, right, everyone? Up to here, any questions, anyone? Anyone having any questions? So this is our fourth session, right? So this is our fourth session, right? Yeah. So four sessions completed, right? So Monday onwards, basics will be started. So our classes would be Monday to Friday only. Sometimes I'll take weekends also, Saturday also, right? Yeah. Monday onwards, basics will be started. What is server? What is network? What is yeah, IP address, routers, switches. Those are very, very important. So if you understand that basics, you can easily understand cloud environment, AWS infrastructure, right? So before going to AWS, first we need to understand basics, right? So that will be started from Monday. Monday, Tuesday, we'll work on basics. Wednesday onwards, we'll start AWS, right? Wednesday onwards, we'll start AWS. Slowly, we'll enter into AWS. So AWS services are very, very easy. Very simple way we can work on AWS.
Hi Ram,
Fine.
good morning.
So already WhatsApp group created. Already people added into WhatsApp group. If you are interested, you can add into WhatsApp group. Once you make the fee, so you'll be added into WhatsApp group, right? So Monday onwards, link will be changed. Monday onwards, link will be changed. Already four sessions completed, right? Yeah, Monday onwards, link will be completely changed. Yeah, someone
Hi
asking
Ram.
some question. Yeah, go ahead,
Uh,
please. Yes.
yeah, hi Ram. Regarding the AWS account, which how to provide that AWS account process for the practice purpose and also, but
Right.
for
Yes.
this one, yeah.
Yeah. So AWS account, how to create AWS account? How can we log into AWS account? So AWS account will be free for 1 year, right? So I'll show you step by step. I'll provide you document also how to create AWS account, how to connect AWS account. So once you log into AWS account, what are the things available? I explain that. Okay.
Yeah,
So when
yeah. As for the
yeah,
credential based on you are giving to that account creations or either you are provided to that the cloud based on yeah as per our Harsha training peoples we are to give to that access.
no, not like that. So I'll show you how to create account. You can create account. You can create with
Okay,
your own credential. Okay, that is
okay,
free. 1 year
okay.
free.
Okay, as for my credentials are okay, my credit card accounts based on you can create it. Okay,
Exactly. Yes,
okay.
right. So yeah, they will not charge anything from card, right? So they don't charge
Yeah,
anything. They cut two
yes.
rupees only. Okay.
Okay, based on the Terraform utilizing for the infrastructure creation, based on the Terraform infrastructure creations, you have any project explanations you are provide? You are saying the
Yeah.
four live projects only. And
Yes.
that
Yeah.
yeah,
Along with these four projects, along with these four live projects, another 4 to 5 simple projects will be covered. Terraform one project, Jenkins one project, right? So like that, these are the live projects. Along with these four, other projects also will be covered. Small projects. Okay.
okay, yes, okay.
Yeah. Someone asking Azure and GCP recordings. Yeah, end of the course I provide you these recordings. End of the course I provide you Azure and GCP recordings. Okay. Fine. Yeah. So this is fourth session, right? So four sessions if we allowed, right? Yeah. So if you are interested, you can make the fee. So the fee would be 11,000 plus 11K plus GST. GST 18%. Comes around 12,980. right? So this is the fee, fine. So because GST we need to pay to government, right? So that is why we added this, fine. Yeah, if you are interested, you can make the fee and you can send the screenshot so that I'll add into WhatsApp group. Okay, so in WhatsApp group we'll share all the information, right? Yeah, so you can yeah, Monday onwards our basic sessions will be started. Fine. Monday link will be changed, so you can add into WhatsApp group as soon as possible. Fine. Yeah, we can wind up here. Any other questions, anyone?
Hi,
Yeah,
Ram.
Ram.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah,
Regarding the sonar code review, the code will be reviewed after deploying the Tomcat server or before that?
Before
Okay.
deploying onto Tomcat, the code will be reviewed.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, Ram. After like testing completed from the tool Sona code review, then for non-live applications, we are storing the data in the form of jar var ER, right? So similar
Yes.
way for the live applications, we are not storing and directly we are deploying from the Maven, right,
Right.
Ram?
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. So in non-live application, the WAR files will be stored in the Nexus. In live application, directly we can deploy onto application servers.
Yeah, but as per our example, Plifcart, if we are changing live on a like very time, like on a span of time, we are changing the rates and all, right? So for every minute and all, we are deploying the code or how, Ram, that one?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, what will happen once they modify the data in the local gate, they push to
Mm-hmm.
GitHub. Automatically, Jenkins will take and convert into WAR file, and it will be deployed onto application servers by using Jenkins. So one job it will perform all the action. Once the code is moved to GitHub, Jenkins will trigger automatically. The code will be pulled from GitHub to Jenkins, convert to WAR file. It will give back to Jenkins. Jenkins will push to application server. It will deploy onto application. So quickly it will be
Okay.
happen. Very quickly,
Okay.
very faster.
Yes, that
Okay.
purpose
So
we are
job.
yeah, that purpose we are created to the microservices, ma'am. The
Exactly.
microservices is not impacting all overall project. That's the microservice.
Exactly.
What are the part you are given to that modifications happen? That part is automatically Jenkins. That's why the CI/CD, the continuous integration, continuous deployment is happening parallelly.
Exactly. Yes. Correct.
Yeah. Okay, Ram. Thank you. Understood. Thank you.
Fine. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? Fine. So we can wind up here. So Monday onwards, basics will be started. After that, Wednesday onwards, cloud will be started. AWS will be started. Okay. So you can add it to WhatsApp group as soon as possible. Fine. If you have any more questions, you can reach out to me. My number already shared, right? Yeah. Fine. Thank you all. So mock entries will be conducted. Yes. Someone asking mock interviews. Mock entries will be conducted. Duration is 3 months. The course duration is 3 months. Okay. Maybe it will take another 1 or 2 weeks extra. Fine. Yeah. Thank you all.